Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live stream. It's rather late. I'm rather tired, so this will be rather brief. But we're back here. We're here practicing every day, and even if it's only 5 minutes, it's worth it. It's probably going to be a little bit longer than 5, but the past weekend, so this month, I'm focusing on creating portraits, focusing on shape, so trying not to use line. And the last weekends, I have been doing Procreate portraits of characters from the Matrix. And today, I thought it would be cool to do a portrait of Spoon Boy. And I just found out that Spoon Boy has another name, at Rowan Witt, an actor, also on Instagram. And yeah, let's get into it. I see 4 of you are here. Please say hello in the chat. So nice to have you here. And I'll just read the quote from The Matrix because it's so good, such a good scene. Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth. What truth? There is no spoon. There is no spoon? Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends. It is only yourself. Such a cool moment. Such a cool moment. I love it so much. So let's draw this Spoon Boy. All right. Procreate is over here. I've got my reference alongside over here. And can do it. Quick little Procreate portrait. Late in the deep night. How's everyone doing? No one has said anything yet. Say things now. How are you? It's interesting that stuff in the Matrix is like green, and here it's like there's some greenliness to it. I'm going to grab something like this, but it's not very green. Like there's this really warm, but there's like this green filter because everything happens in the Matrix is kind of green. But I just thought I'll jump back in case you haven't seen them. The last couple of weeks. Here's Trinity, which was 15 minutes. Agent Smith, it was like an hour and a half. Train Man. Who knows things about the Train Man? Did you make it? You made it. You're here. Hello. And the Oracle. Oh, look at the two of them together. Isn't that nice? The Oracle and Spoon Boy. Oh yeah, here's like the warmth and a bit of the green. So let's do it. Let's do a quick Spoon Boy. I love this character, love this moment so much. So let's do it. How you doing? I've realized, having left my glasses off for a couple of days, how much I'm really in need of a new pair of glasses, because I realize it's like worse when I put them on. And I don't think because the prescriptions changed, but there's something it's like some weird plastic, right? These glasses, it's not actual glass, and I think the surface of the glasses is no longer like, it's kind of like it's weirdly kind of warped and uneven, not smooth. There are some scratches, and I've realized, it's actually kind of more pleasant to get around without my glasses on. So I don't know. We'll see who'll be the first to notice when I have new glasses, because it's got to happen. All right, here's a shape. See that? Freehand selection tool. Yeah, the color scheme can be different. Can be similar. Hopefully they're gonna belong. How am I? I'm well, thank you, Martina. How are you? Thank you for asking. Have you been to the mountains recently? Yesterday, if you were listening, you may have heard me say that I thought we were maybe going to go for a bit of a walk, bit of a hike. We didn't really. We spent time in the garden. Oh, look at that. Same value. Different color. Interesting. But an interesting thing that happened was some friends were like, everyone come over here and we're going to do some work in the garden basically, except it's not a garden, it's a field that they kind of renting, and they had a veggie patch there, and they had some goats there and stuff. The goats were just like borrowed, and they wanted to get some work done, and so they invited a whole bunch of people to come and do stuff, and so I did. I joined them, and it was good. I like the idea of people helping each other out, and it's like turns into a really interesting kind of social event, and it's really productive, and it people have a good time being together, and it costs nothing, and it's great way to get things done in community. It was really nice. So that's what I've been doing today. Unfortunately, no, just the lake. Lakes are pretty good. I think I do not have a scratch resistant coating on my glasses. I remember my glasses, when I got them, I was just like, no extras, just give me the glasses. Of course I'm not going to scratch them. Of course I don't need insurance, I'll just take care of them. And the time has come to be like, I can't really. There what do you call it, where you have different areas of the glasses where you can like see differently. I kind of have to like look around the scratchy blurry bits on the lenses, so it's time for new glasses. This is so interesting because it's actually, I was going to go and do this shape here, but there's very little variation, like from here where the highlight is to over here where the shadow is. There's a lot of stuff going on, like a lot of nuance, but it's really kind of indistinct, which is interesting. So try and just grab the shapes which are a bit clearer and more distinct. Trinity was really cool, just how quick that was. I think I've gone too far over. Such a cool little kid. Wait a minute, how am I going to wrap this up? Like this maybe. And something like that. 10 people are here, and only Martina has said hello. Who else is here? Welcome, it's nice to have you here. Also, those of you who are not chatters, who don't like contributing to the chat, I also appreciate having you here. Thank you for being here. Thanks for tuning in. But if you do have something to say, please say it. Who has seen The Matrix? Right, there's some things I'm gonna have to change. I think I like took this way too far over, and now I think I'm gonna struggle to fit things in, but it's okay. Got to put something down to be able to respond and work from that to move to the next thing. Who knows things about the Train Man? Because when I was looking him up, and surprisingly, there's like, I guess the scenes are so short, but there's I had this really clear image of the train man, and I was like, oh yeah, going to be really cool reference and stuff, and it was actually very limited kind of reference available. I guess the scenes are pretty brief, but do people know who the train man is, or do you have any theories? If you look it up, if you go looking for the train man, you'll find videos kind of telling you things, because that's what happened to me, and I was like, oh really? Is that who the train man is? That's interesting, because um I can be pretty good with suspension of disbelief. And I can remember, like, as a teenager, watching films with friends, and they'd be like, "But what? Why is that? How could that be that? Like, what's going on?" And they were always, I have some friends who were like super critical, and they're like breaking everything down, and I'm just like, "Whoa, whatever's going on, this is cool." um, and so things would happen, strange things, and I wouldn't necessarily just question it. I'd be like, "Oh, that's an interesting character," and just accept it. This empty glass I wish was full. um, so I just kind of just didn't really think about it. Just like, oh yeah, who's this? Don't know, but interesting, cool that there's like this invincible train man who has his own world. That's cool. All right, here. So pretty bright value range, which is interesting. Mark is here. Hello, Annette. Wait a minute. I'm so lucky. Always get the add-ons because my subscription is so high, or else my glasses would be like 10 to 15 inches thick, or 200 to 300 millimeters, like really thick. Yeah, okay. Mine are not that. Like, I can still function. I can get around. I can see things. Um, it's the distance which is kind of problematic, and the street signs if I'm driving, and I don't drive that much, but when I do, and I'm like, what is it? Why are the street signs blurry around this city? But it's not the street signs that are blurry. I wonder if it's kind of. I'm wondering how I can introduce some kind of greens. I wonder if this should be more of a. Oh, it's tricky thinking of like a warm, bright green. Ah, it's way too bright. Down on the neck, it's not as. Oh, I wonder. It's like it's so bright up here. Um, this is so felt like looking not a lot like this kid. I wonder if I can. If I take this. anyone here watching this do much digital drawing, you of course can be drawing however you like as you sketch along to this. But you could use Procreate or the Sketchbook app. Wonder if I just going to get in here, focus on this. There's all sorts of things proportionally that I'm kind of like, oh, what's going on? That's all right. We'll just do something. Hi Gail. Late, starting from the beginning. I love drawing in Procreate, says Gail. Excellent. What size paper am I using in the program? This is a custom size, which is 2,700 by 4,800 pixels. And it's the size, like the resolution that Instagram Reels are. And that's why it's that size. I wonder. Yeah, it's limited. I think it just has. The bigger you make your canvas, you get restrictions on the layers, the amount of layers you can have, and I think you can only have 37 layers. But I manage with that. 37 layers is okay. Try to make choices of keeping shapes of a similar value in the way that I use it, keeping them on the same layer, if they make sense to have on the same layer. So choose a dark green for these dark shapes. Interestingly, that's like totally a much warmer color there. So maybe I've not thought about this spoon child as an actual person until I just before this live stream, and I was like, who is the actor who played this character? And found them, Rowan Witt. I'm like, oh, cool. And I guess this is also part of my suspension of disbelief thing of like, don't need to know who anyone is. It's just like, this is the kid with the spoon in the Oracle's apartment. Too dark, but maybe. Oops. We'll see. It's something. We can work with that. Just put something down. It's gonna be interesting. Just getting closer and focus on the eye. Maybe for now we can just feel like let's get the eyes looking kind of good, because I don't know. I don't want to go super long, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm tired, but just I feel like I'm in a headspace where this could just be a slow process. So if I focus on the eye, I wonder, just for the sake of like focusing on something. Okay, Martina says the train man was always such a mystery to me. I always thought he was like one of the aliens who wanted to help. Yeah, so interesting. Because like helping that kid. Penny, hi. I don't have an Apple computer, so any recommendations on what to get would be great if I can afford it. There is an app. If you have an Android device, the tablet, there is an app called Sketchbook, which you can basically, the way I'm using this, Procreate is like a very powerful app that you can do a lot of things with. I use it in a very limited capacity, and the things that I do, you can do with the Sketchbook app as well. Bye bye, Mark. I'm glad you were here for a little bit too. Martina, is there only one kind of bucket for the shapes, or can it be patterned? I'm still so confused by the plus and minus signs for shapes. I know you can add or take away from the shape, but I'm still struggling. You can have a brush. There are like patterned brushes. If I were to make a shape here, and this is the drag and drop, is the bucket, it's just one thing, but I can use different brushes. So I could, this looks interesting. If I made it really big, I could like put something on there and then I'll have a texture. So I could use a brush which has a texture, and you're brushing into it then. Or there's like here, organic shapes, snow gum, and you could, oh no, I lost my shape. Here we go. And then I can like put some pattern into that shape. So you can do a lot of interesting things like that, using different brushes rather than just using the fill tool. A lot of interesting textured stuff that you could do like this. Oh, that's really cool. It looks like spent a long time hatching that, but it wasn't long time at all. So that's an interesting way to use it, using the brush with the freehand selection tool. And what I often do is I like to use the painting brush, Nico Roll. I like to use that. It has a nice texture, and often, like I have done a few times here, I'll just like drop a brush stroke into the shape, so it's not like a full intensity of that bucket tool. you're struggling to get those features to work right, or at least how you use them in Photoshop. Yeah. Yeah, with like the selection tool, when you've like, I've got a shape here. You've got that shape. Can you see that very well? And then there's a plus and minus down here. I want to take something out of that shape. And now I've taken that out. And now it looks like an avocado. And I could brush into that shape. And whoops, if I go back and I'm still, yeah, if I were in the selection tool and I wanted to remove another piece from here, then I could, oh no, okay, that's interesting. I've selected that, I'm keeping that piece, I'm erasing everything else. But with the selection tool you could, because it was plus, maybe plus, minus, you choose what you want, plus, minus, you can like invert the selection. There we go. And I could take that out. So that's how like you use the plus, minus and stuff, and the invert selection is pretty good as well. And once you navigate those few tools, like it can be a pretty cool way to use it. All right, so this is like this moment I'm like, okay, it doesn't look a lot like a kid because my eyes are really small and kids often they'll have quite big eyes. So I'm going to just like, I'll grab everything and I can just change the size of it, which is magic because it's digital. I'm using Procreate, so I can just fix it in post. It's nice to draw things right the right time from the beginning, but if you don't, you can. There's certainly leeway. You can change things around and kind of fix it up pretty easily when it's digital and you realize like, whoa, those eyes are way too small. There we go. That just instantly made it look, I can jump back a couple steps, went from that to that, and instantly looks a bit more like a child. And here probably as well. Like I just, as I'm doing this, I'm like, this mouth is like really little. I think it could be a bit bigger. And I'll make it a bit more transparent. Maybe a multiply layer, because I like the transparency of the layers. Being able to yeah, and I can be like, oh, that's a very, very small little mouth. That's not really what it looks like. So I can grab that little mouth and make it a bit bigger. You're welcome, Martina. So I think I could grab this layer and I feel like that whole shape, I've just like pulled it into itself, taken the line that I made and just dragged it over a bit to fix it a bit. Right. Interestingly, like it's such a nice image, and there's so much kind of nuance to the shapes and the colors, and I feel like I could really spend a long time in it, but I also feel really tired. So I'm just thinking now, how can I what would be a way to add some interest to this? Because I still feel at the moment there's not a lot going on. Like it's pretty minimal, even though I've been at it for half an hour. And so, what are a few things I could do now that would just make it a bit more interesting? And I think maybe some shapes down in the textiles. And darkening the background a bit. I'm thinking like a kind of transparent layer in the background could be cool. This is cool. You can this is a way you can do it. You can work so fast with it if you just like do these quick shapes and fill them with color. It can be so fast, like it was last week with Trinity, but also the process of grabbing and creating shapes can be really cool. Oh, here I can also use the rectangle tool just to kind of go with what's going on in the background. This. All right, that was pretty quick, and I feel like it's instantly more interesting. But the time I spent like figuring out this stuff, I feel like was time well spent. It was important. Like I feel like the eyes are important. Looking a bit more childlike, even though it's pretty flexible with the proportions. But it's been it can be interesting at different moments in the process of working on anything. There can be these phases where, we're really careful, focused, like zeroing in on some aspect or something in the process, and there can be, it can feel like, yeah, well, you really focus in on something, and it's maybe things aren't. It's important what you're doing, but like the feeling I just had was like, wow, I'm spending so much longer on this than I kind of thought I would, and I'm feeling really tired, and but then to be like, okay, what can I do? Like, what would be an efficient way to do something now, which is going to really make a difference, to make it feel like something is happening? Because is anyone familiar with that feeling when you're like, you're really into a piece and you're like, well, nothing's changing, nothing's happening. I'm familiar with that feeling, and it can be good to know that sometimes, like, it's just like, okay, maybe if I just do something to like switch into a different mode. I'm doing these loose shapes that are not so important. There's like, it's nothing about the likeness or trying to do any kind of it feels like it's not that important, but it can make such an impact, like compositionally, which is really interesting. Whoa. Yeah, maybe something more like that. And I noticed got these kind of rosy cheeks. Could be a bit of some rosiness. Oops. Okay. Can I do the twins next time, Martina? I was thinking about that today. It's good for value practice. It is, isn't it? It is a good image for value practice. It's such a cool image. It's very interesting to work on this one because it is it's not like super high punchy contrast. There are like the eyes. There's this shadow shape in the background, and there's like a fold in the fabric, which is quite dark. But I think I'm going to leave it at this for today. It's been much longer than I expected it to, but it's kind of, I'm at a place now where I'm like, oh, this is not finished, but I kind of like where it is at the moment. So if you've made it this far to the end of the live stream in the live chat, you can put a drawing hand emoji in there, or if you're watching the replay in the comments, you could put a drawing hand emoji in there, and you could tell me what your favorite memory from the Matrix is. Favorite moment, favorite character. And if you haven't seen it, just pretend, make something up. You could just say any wild random thing. A little bit of collarbone there. Final touch. Oh, another one would be nice. This is often really nice. Here, this little shape right here. Just gonna lift a bit of that out, and over here there's a little bit. Just look at that. Subtle, but worth it. Does maybe a bit much. Yeah. You see that? See those 3 little shapes? Just a little value variation over on that side. Oh, speaking of that, maybe just here. Something light. Just a little bit in here. I see it darker on the reference, but I'm just going to keep it really light there. Okay. That's it for today. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the popcorn. Gail did a mixed media look in quite a few of portraits, and they turned out pretty cool. I'm glad you're enjoying watching me work through the process here. Have so much to learn in digital, and this is very informative, the way I use the tools. Yeah, I feel like this is a really simple and enjoyable way, especially focusing on shapes, because it's all about shapes. In this process, it's just looking at shapes, and I find it a really interesting, in my head, it's like an interesting way to look at an image. Oh, and the final thing, because it's always fun and exciting, is to put a layer of magenta. Why not? It's often magenta. I like doing this a lot, just to see what happens. I mean, we could do green, see what happens if we made it a little greener, but I can just go through these different layer qualities and see what these different things do, how it makes the image feel different. And it's all pretty subtle. I turn the opacity down pretty low. If we cranked it up a bit, it'd get some more intense variation. But yeah, interesting. I noticed that I got these shapes here, and I'm wondering about those shapes. What about this green? What's that going to do? There's something that's going on here that's making me feel like this. Well, I guess that's part of the vibe is very monk-ish, and this is looking a bit like grey hair, short grey hair, and also this shape out over here as well. Maybe I could get rid of that. I'm just noticing in some of these layers, like there, it just looks like totally grey hair, detracting a little bit from the feeling of it being a kid. Oh, that's cool. Oh, intense. So having just noticed that, I will, where was it? Here. Here, this shape. This base shape here. I didn't mind it for a while, but then I realized really making it look like a monk hairstyle. And the kid does look like a monk, but just kind of aging the look of the character, I think. What's this? Oh, here we go. All right. Put this back on. That was worth changing. Cool. Thanks everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for drawing Spoon Boy with me. Thank you, Rowan Witt. Let's see if Rowan sees this on Instagram. I'll definitely be tagging him. And yeah, that was fun. Thanks everyone. See you next time. Thanks, Gretchen.